194, it's Pink and Try at 7:25. I'm Kathy Rowe with Shannon, and there is panic in the Impatiens world. And just in the nick of time to the rescue is Cindy Payne from Oliver Payne Greenhouses, who we love to talk to every couple of weeks. And what's going on with downy mildew?
Downy mildew is in New York State. More importantly, it's in our immediate vicinity, Onondaga County, Oswego County, the surrounding counties. It is a disease that's threatening impatiens coming across the United States. Right now, it's in 27 states, so it's a pretty serious thing. It is a fungus that is spread by wind. It's spread by splashing water. So if there are infected plants and you water and the water splashes up onto other plants, you spread it that way.
Does it spread to other types of plants in addition to impatiens?
Impatiens downy mildew is host specific.
Good.
Okay.
It targets impatiens, and that is the regular bedding impatiens. Walleriani, which includes double impatiens. It also includes the mini patients and a couple of brands, Fusion and Butterfly impatiens. It does not affect New Guinea impatiens at all. So that is the good news, because you can sub New Guinea impatiens. If you usually plant impatiens in a bed, you can put New Guinea impatiens there. And there are seed varieties, such as the Divine, that work very well in that type of setting. Or it's a chance to break out and try something new. Try some begonias. Try some Terenia. Try something different.
Are those good in the shade? Because that's why I love impatiens.
Very good in the shade. And you're right. Impatiens are like the number one bedding plant. So it's a big impact to this industry. Unfortunately, this disease is not curable. Once your plant is infected, your plant will go down. The symptoms are, if you decide to chance, and you can plant impatiens, we're not saying absolutely don't, but you're really kind of doing it at your own risk, because you don't know whether or not you're going to get it.
Do you then have to toss the soil that they were planted in if you did it in a pot?
You're just going to do a different plant.
Okay.
If you end up with downy mildew on your impatiens this year, rip the impatiens out and get rid of those. Plant something different in its place, because it will just get it again because of those spores. And the real bad thing is those spores overwinter. They do not freeze out up here, where a lot of things, because we have a naturally cold winter, will freeze out. This does not. This overwinters in the soil.
So it could be a problem again next year?
Yes, it will be. It will be. It will only steadily increase in area until they find a way to eradicate it. And they're working really hard, but so far, no luck.
All right. Well,
but it is host specific, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it is.
Don't worry about it getting on your roses or things like that.
Plenty of other things that we love in our garden outside of impatiens. So let's talk about keeping them healthy all season and watering, because that's the one that confuses most people most often.
Yes, it is. And it's the biggest concern people have. They're asking me all the time, well, when is a good time to water? When shouldn't I water? The real key is anything you've got in the ground, really try not to water late in the day towards sunset. You don't want plants wet going into nightfall. The leaves should be dry, and that's a good case in this case of downy mildew. Things that promote diseases like that are cool, wet conditions. So if the plants are wet, the leaves are wet, and the nights are cooler, I'm not saying they're cold, but your temperature does drop at night, cool, wet conditions promote fungus growth and different pathogens. So don't water your gardens at night. You can water them during the day. You can water midday. And I get that question a lot. Well, should I water at noon? Isn't that bad? No, you can water at noon. It gives plenty of time for those leaves to get dried off. Also, when you're planting, think about air circulation around your plants. Try not to crowd things up too much. Good air circulation promotes good, healthy leaves.
Good to know. And when you're potting in pots, is potting soil enough, or should you add manure? I've been told to do that. And my plants are quite beautifully, but is that necessary, or am I wasting my money and my horse's life?
Fertilizers. I usually recommend that when you're doing pots and things around your yard, you can use a time release fertilizer, which works really well. You can incorporate that when you first plant. Time releases usually last 2 to 3 months, and then supplement feed with a water soluble, like a Miracle Grow or the Proven Winners water soluble, which has a little extra of nitrogen, and use it when you water once a week. It's really easy to do. It's a good thing to get in the habit of. If you fertilize your plants, they do much better. A straight potting mix through the season with no additional fertilizer will look very different from a plant that's been fertilized every week.
That's good to know.
A fertilized plant is good and healthy too, and the healthier the plant, the stronger it is to resist things like insects and diseases.
Last year, I left a bag of horse manure on my deck, and we had this massive rainstorm, and I don't recommend that.
Oh, no. It's kind of smelly.
It is.
and I would say use manure maybe in your ground gardens, your vegetable gardens or flower beds. But I would stick to a different fertilizer source for my pots just because of that whole issue. It's a little smelly.
Yeah. Neighbors love me. Great. Cindy Payne, you're awesome. And if you want to see a Cindy Payne petunia, go to our Facebook page because
Lovely.
That's the one hanging out in my backyard right now. Thank you so much.
Well, having me.
All right, at 7:31, it's traffic and weather next.
Y94 Me.